TFCU, we get it. You want the money part to be easy. From everyday spending alerts to mobile controls, like turning on and off a lost debit card, to earning more with high-yield checking. We help you spend your money and your time on what matters most to you. Get checking for all. Checking that fits you. From the credit union you trust, when it's you and TFCU.
Good evening. Time for Game 2 of the semifinals in the men's bracket of the 2025 Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament. The number 2 seed, number 22 Langston Lions, will face the number 3 seed in the MACU Evangels. This is presented tonight by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. What will we see tonight from these two teams? Both these teams have played before earlier this year with completely dramatic different outcomes. Back on November 26th, LU led by 4 in the first half, 34-30. The second half, the game remained tight. With 4:17 to go, it was tied at 54. MACU took the lead by 1 with 2 minutes left to play. Then the Lions got rolling, outscoring them 9-4 in the final 2 minutes, and Bryce Monroe scoring 6. Lions win 65-61. But a much different story the second time these teams met. MACU brought a whooping to the Lions last time. Back on January 20th, MACU shot 50% in the first half, knocked down 7 first half three-point shots, and led by 7. But they were not done. They got even better in the second half of this game, shooting 77%. And no, I did not stutter, and I said that percentage wrong. 77%. The Lions could do nothing to stop their efficiency. MACU won going away by 21, 67-88. Now, Josiah Fulcher led the way by dropping 24 points, and Jawan White scored 22. I'm Maurice Prince. Welcome to Sooner pregame, Sooner Athletic Conference pregame. I am, of course, Maurice Prince, joined by the coach in the box, Coach Gary Woods. Gary, 2 dramatic outcomes from this team, but the one that stings the most, talking to Chris Wright, is obviously the MACU game, where it was an unbelievable, and you were there for that game.
Yeah, I was there for it, and let me tell you something. Anytime you get a team that's peaking at the right time, as MACU at that time, they were peaking, and when you see things like 60% from the field, 50% from 3, and in terms of scoring average, MACU scored about 18 points above their average. It was just a whooping from the start to the finish, and MACU just ran away with that one.
And let's be clear, MACU has pedigree. They've won championships.
Yep, they have.
They've won conference titles. They've won national titles. So this team doesn't matter. Whenever you see them on the other side of who you're facing, be concerned.
That's right.
Because this is a team that can show up at any given moment. They might not have the gaudiest numbers that you want to talk about. They may not have everything that you think a championship team should have. But let me tell you, they have exactly what they need. And their head coach, Josh Gamblin, is very proud of his team, and just as proud as Chris Wright. How have the Lions dealt this year, Gary, with going from the hunters to the hunted?
Man, let me tell you, so when you think about the fact that, number one, you've had some players who have been playing hurt, and we've had various lineups. The Lions have had various lineups. You're talking about from game to game, from week to week, to month. It's something that they've had to adjust to. They came in with a highly touted recruiting class, a top 5 ranking nationally, and then, of course, through the course of various events throughout the season, they've been having to deal with some trials and some tribulations, and as a result of it, they haven't necessarily, had the performance that they expected to have. However, it was still good enough for them to continue to be a number 2 seed in this tournament and have hopes for perhaps winning this game and trying to see if they could perhaps advance to the finals tomorrow night.
Now, if there was a top 30, MACU would have the votes sitting between 25 and 32 be ranked. As it stands right now, only 2 teams in the Sooner Athletic Conference are currently ranked in the top 25. How important is this game to MACU? it's somewhat questionable, but it looks a lot better if they get to the championship game.
Yep.
We just saw a phenomenal game 1 in the men's bracket earlier, as Nelson College was down earlier, and they did what we call tree chopping, where they just kept gnawing and gnawing and gnawing at Wayland Baptist. Before you know it, Wayland Baptist is responding to everything they're doing. They were playing their style of game, and when the scoreboard hit zeros, Nelson has advanced to the championship game.
Yeah, Nelson did a very good job of staying focused. They didn't panic. They stayed with their game plan. Really, really stressed the fundamentals. There were times where, quite honestly, you would have easily thought that you could count them out, but they just kept doing the fundamentals, kept pounding the ball on the inside, kept looking at good shots. They got into an offensive rhythm where they got clean looks at the basket, played good defense, and as a result, they came out victorious.
Now, there's a lot of confusion or a lot of questions about what this game truly means. Let's just be honest here. So we all know the NAIA selection show is this coming Thursday night. Girls are at 6, the boys or the men are at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So the committee's going to start looking at final resumes to decide final site locations and where games can be played. So if you're Langston, you finished in the regular season behind Nelson,
right,
who you beat twice. So what's crazy about that is you're in a situation now where you need to win, not just to get yourself in, but if you wanted to have a home game early on, that's the only path that may be to get there.
Right.
If you're Nelson, on the other hand, you need to show that you belong where you are. Now, what does that have to do with MACU? MACU can mess it up for everybody.
Yes, they can.
Because if they come in and beat Langston tonight and then find a way to climb and beat Nelson tomorrow night, then you're talking about messing it up. And now you're talking about lower seeding, tougher opening rounds, and also the amount of distance you might have to travel in those games. What people don't understand about this conference or the NAIA is if you are just barely getting in, you might be traveling to Oregon. You might be going to Idaho just for a first-round game to play.
That's
64 teams make it in, but it's going to be ever so important to win those key games. And when you have a chance to solidify who you are at home, if you're Langston, you got to do it.
Yeah, and even if Langston does come out on top, and let's just say they advance and they play well tomorrow night, they're still only going to get one game at home. The rest of the time, they're going to be road warriors. That's just how this thing is going to shake out. And, of course, Nelson, in their situation, they're probably looking at about the same sort of scenario. They'll get an opportunity, perhaps host, but they're going to go on the road.
Right.
That's just how it shapes out.
And when you go on the road, then you have to deal with some of the other elements. And everybody goes, well, everybody goes on the road in that. Well, the road to Kansas City, you don't want to have to go all the way across country to get that done. Because jet lag, all those other things, traveling, all that, with the weather that we've seen in this country, do you want to put yourself in that kind of a position when you have a chance, whether you're Nelson, MACU, or Langston, to have a chance to say, I can bring it through my own home, I can bring it through my court, give myself the best chance to succeed. And we have shown that teams that start off to home and get a good start from that crowd, get off to those good games, it's easier when they enter the field of 16.
And then also, too, if they're able to be fortunate enough to stay regional, right, then, especially if it's within driving distance, now you have the opportunity for the home crowd or your crowd to follow you and support you. You have the opportunity to be able to travel and get in earlier without too many delays or perhaps long trips to where you don't have that hangover from travel to where guys can get rested. And so it's so important that you play well, stay regional. I'm not going to say as close as you can, but somewhat stay regional within driving distance so that, you know, again, you can get fan support and you can stay rested and play well.
What we know about the game tonight, so let's talk about it. Both teams play it close to the vest. MACU in the course of the season is averaging 75.5 points per game. Their opponents are scoring 66. That's an 8.8 differential, which is more than Langston, but it's still less than 10, which means they're still a grind-out team to the end. Langston, of course, scores 70 points per game, giving up their opponent 62.3. So 7.9. So you're talking about a 1-point differential. Now, that didn't translate into how those games turned out earlier.
No, it didn't.
But at some point in time, the statistics tell you who you are, and these teams will eventually reflect the numbers.
No, I agree with you for sure, but at the same time, that's the reason why we play the game, right? You play the game to see who's hot, who's not, who plays well, who doesn't, who executes in terms of their game plan, who doesn't. Right here, right now, is where it matters.
So when you start talking about that, we're going to turn it over to PA address announcer, Mr. Busby, as I like to call him, is going to announce the starting lineups for both squads tonight. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for game number 2, the final spot in the men's bracket of the 2025 Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament, presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union.
We hope that you embrace these values as you create a positive environment for everybody to enjoy. No anthem, no anthem, no anthem. At this time, let's meet the starting lineup for the visiting evangelists from Mid-American Christian University. Guard number 0, Jawan White. 6'4" guard, number 2, Josiah Fulcher. 6'4" guard, number 21, Terrence Gaines. 6'7" forward, number 25, Keyshawn Mason. And the 6'9" forward, number 33, Mayan. Head coach of the Evangels is Josh Gammon. Assistant coaches is Dominic Ford, Bob Artistic, Tim Kupo. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Langston University Lions. 6'1" guard from St. Louis, Missouri, number 0, Mario McKinney. 5'10" guard from San Francisco, California, number 1, Bryce Monroe. 6'3" senior from Cairo, Egypt, number 3, Amaro Lotto. 6'9" sophomore from Dallas, Texas, number 11, Joshua Smith. And the 6'5" senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 23, Cameron Rice. Head coach of the Lions is Chris Wright, associate head coach Larry Neville, assistant coach John Warren, graduate assistant Jerry.
Want to thank Mr. Busby with the PA announcement. Let's go ahead and repeat the senior or upperclassmen team of 11 players of the Havon coach by Josh Gamblin, and the Mid-America Christian University. Jawan White, the senior, number 0. Number 2, a senior, Josiah Fulcher. Number 21, a senior, Terrence Gaines. Number 25, a senior, Keyshawn Mason. And number 33, a senior, Magok Manyang. Yes. And there's a lot of size on that. Of course, Josh Gamblin is the head coach. And for the starting lineup for the Lions tonight.
Yeah, starting at guard, number 0, Mario McKinney. Starting at point guard, number 1, Bryce Monroe. Starting at off guard, number 3, Amaro Lotto. Starting at forward, number 11, Joshua Smith. And starting at small forward, number 23, Cameron Bryce.
Cameron Bryce being inserted into the starting lineup tonight.
Yep.
And that's interesting, as Chris Wright will go into playoff mode where he's matching directly what the opponent is trying to do to give his team the best advantage. Cameron Bryce has been a very productive player off the bench. One could say his 9.1 points might be missed, but we'll see how he impacts the start of this game this evening. Going to jump it up center court. Manyang and Joshua Smith jumping it up. All right, control there by Keyshawn Mason. And now going to work. Here comes MACU. Ball in the hands now of Jawan White. Being covered by Bryce Monroe. Down into the lane. A lob over the top.
Yeah.
And Keyshawn Mason, that's Terrence Gaines, runs and gets an easy basket.
Yeah, that was a quick lob. That was a high screen there. And Cameron Bryce had a difficult time keeping up.
All right, going to work now. Ball in the hands now of Amaro Lotto. Back to Bryce Monroe. Monroe still dribbling at the top. Around the screen by Cameron Bryce. Monroe going to work. 5 seconds on the clock. 4 seconds. Kisses it off the glass. And give me 1, 2, 3 of those.
Yes,
but Bryce Monroe, and they're up by 1. Across the timeline now goes Jawan White. Jawan White is an assist machine, averages about 4 assists a game.
Charge.
A charge underneath Mario McKinney.
Yep.
Mario McKinney is an X-factor player for the Lions. If he doesn't impact it on the scoreboard, he impacts it in other ways, and that's one way he does.
Yeah.
First team foul called immediately against MACU.
Yeah, Mario McKinney did a good job of setting himself in the place of Majok, and Majok just kind of bulldozed through him, and a little acting job there, but he was able to get the call.
All right, Bryce. Over to Cameron Bryce, who fires one from deep. Shot no good. Rebound obtained by White. Langston retreats. And on the other end, Gaines fires. Shot no good. Lotto with the rebound.
Yeah, good rebound by Lotto. That was an interesting transition there. Long pass to straight to a 3-ball, no dribble in that transition.
All right, across the top here. Mario McKinney bounce pass inside to Joshua Smith. Double teamed on the box, kick it back out. McKinney swings it, and that pass is going to be deflected out of bounds there by Jawan White. MACU is a very good defensive team.
Yeah,
They've got size, the ability to, with speed and athleticism, playing passing lanes, and they can make it difficult for anyone.
Yeah, what makes that work for them is that they're able to be where they're supposed to be as the man, Bryce Monroe, with the runner.
That was a mythical shot there by Bryce Monroe, kind of in the air, hanging with a one-handed runner, going toward the basket. Into the lane.
Oh, stolen.
Intercepted there by Cameron Bryce. And he goes.
Oh, he's fouled from behind.
Fouled from behind there by Terrence Gaines. And on the other end, the Lions going back to the line. Creating turnovers is something that they have to do in this game if the Lions want to get there. The Lions, we know, can play good defense. And in this winning streak of 3 games that they've had, the last thing, talking to Coach Wright, he had said that he was very pleased about the way the team had responded to the adversity, Gary, and down the stretch, starting to look like the team he hoped that this team could be.
Yeah.
As Cameron Bryce knocks down shot number 1.
Well, Coach Wright, he believes, just like, for the most part, Coach Gamlin, both of them are very defensive-oriented type coaches. They understand that defense creates offensive opportunities.
Cameron Bryce maintaining his 94% at the free throw line.
Wow.
1 for 1 as he is right now starting off the game. So going back to work here right now. Ball in the hands. And it's going to nearly be deflected away. And Cameron Bryce lets the student section over at Langston across from us know that he is injecting himself on the defensive side of the ball here.
Good to see him bounce back. I kind of got a little bit concerned about his defensive ability off of that opening score.
All right, going to work here. Working the ball around the top. Ball in the hands of Fulcher. Stolen again by Bryce Monroe.
2-on-2.
Monroe fades. Shot. Cannot fall.
Good tip in by Lotto.
What a good job.
Nicely done. Time out, MACU.
By Josh Gamlin. So he's going to call a 30-second timeout right now. And basically, those long passing lanes, right now, Langston is cutting. So they got to be careful now because after that first initial backdoor lob that we saw from MACU, getting their first 2 of the game, now Langston is kind of playing for that setup. So now what's going to have to happen now is Josh Gamblin's going to have to talk to his team about adjusting to get the most out of it to prevent those long passes that leads to these run-out shot opportunities by Langston.
And basically what that means for MACU offensively is that they're going to need to come to the ball a little bit more, make sure that the pass is away from the defense, where the passing lane is clear, and just don't get relaxed and try to force passes.
So far in the game, the Lions have yet to turn the ball over. We got 3 turnovers from MACU early, and it's impacted the 7-point lead advantage that Langston has right now. Ball on the left wing, bounce pass inside. Nice move. Nobody stopped
nicely
him.
Done.
Getting around the defense goes Keyshawn Mason. 2-point basket by the Evangels.
Yeah, that was a good job by Mason getting that ball on the baseline, driving with the finger roll finish at the rim.
Bryce Monroe again inside the lane, off the elbow, shot no good. Rebound pulled down by Gaines. Here comes MACU trying to make another push, swings it over to Majok. Majok has it, swings it over back to Jawan White. White at the top, drives inside, swings it back out. Manyang fires from 3. Shot no good. Rebound by Cameron Bryce.
Yeah, good rebound by Bryce. That was kind of an off-balance shot that Majok took.
Across the timeline now goes Bryce Monroe. Bryce Monroe had 2 type of games here in the series over the course of the season against MACU. One game he got hurt and did not play well, and the other game he dropped 24. I think he only had 2 in the loss that night.
Good heads-up play by Cameron Bryce.
Lotto with the assist on that one. Ball back in the hands of MACU. Langston extends their lead up to 7. Coming across the timeline now goes Jawan White.
And it looked as if Lotto was trying to lob for the alley, but the timing was off. But Cameron Bryce did a good job of recovering.
Pass inside, going to be deflected again and challenged by Langston.
Turnover.
And they're going to say it's a turnover as the Lions once again are doing a good job of attacking the lanes and slowing action down.
Substitution.
So substitution coming in the game now. Looks like it's number 24.
Jamison Epps. No.
So that is Darius Hughes in the
Darius
game.
Hughes and Jamison Epps also checks into the game.
All right, set to go. Now Bryce Monroe has it. Monroe off to a good start today. Monroe already has 5 of Langston's points. So far, Mason and Gaines are the only 2 scorers for the Evangelos right now for MACU. Ball on the right wing. Going downhill goes Monroe, kicks to the corner. Jamison Epps, who just checked in the game and fires a 3, wasn't able to get that one. Now Darius Hughes, power game inside.
Yeah, good
and
job.
Darius Hughes off the Mario McKinney assist.
That was a great save by Mario McKinney. He stood on the outline with 1 foot down, was able to get that pass back in to Darius Hughes.
Okay, Jawan White looking for some airspace. Jamison Epps standing out on him. Into the lane, driving down, goes White. Pass inside, and it's going to end up be stolen by Hughes.
Yep.
Here comes Mario McKinney. McKinney sets up, and the Lion offense resets. 24 seconds on the shot clock now. 15:05 to go in the first half. 13-4 is the score. 2 team fouls against MACU right now. Into the lane. Trying to get that lob.
That wasn't there. Yeah, MACU did an excellent job of blocking that.
Gaines now has it, swings it to the inside, and underneath the rim, going to get fouled on the play.
Yeah, it looks like
Quentin Woodson.
Yeah, it looks like Hughes is going to get called with the foul. A little bit different lineup, Mo, for the Langston Lions. They're going with 2 small forwards and 3 guards, which again is a little bit of a shift. You keep more athleticism and speed out on the floor, but you give up a little bit of size by pulling, Josh Smith out of the game. That big 6'9" frame is something that you want to definitely have, but you're trading in 2 6'6" players.
Quentin Woodson's first shot is off. He gets one more.
Cam Bryce checks into the game for Mario McKinney.
So he goes 1 of 2 at the line. 13-5 is what it is. 14:48, 1 team foul against the Lions right now. Across the timeline goes Bryce Monroe. Lotto runs to the top. Ball in the box to Hughes. And that pass is going to be stolen by Torrance Gaines. Gaines across the timeline. I'm sorry, not Gaines. It's White across the timeline.
Yep.
White gets it back to Gaines. Gaines with a nice fake. Nice recovery by Cameron Bryce. Pass down low. Nearly stolen.
Yep.
The nice recovery as Woodson has it. Woodson inside with the power game. Shot no good. Another rebound by MACU.
Yeah.
Shot up and
nice
down.
Recovery.
Josiah Fulcher, the team's leading scorer.
Yeah.
He averages 15.9 points per game, gets his first basket of the night.
Yeah, and that's probably the second chance bucket that MACU has. 13-7, 3:59 remaining.
Working the ball around, Bryce Monroe. Back in the hands of Cameron Bryce, standing on the logo, left wing to Monroe. Monroe looks like he's going to go work against Gaines. And on the other end, Cameron Bryce fires a 3
ball
from the corner on Josiah Fulcher. Give him all 1, 2, 3 at O's.
Yeah.
16-11. Across the timeline now. Ball in the hands of Woodson. Woodson hands off. Now driving goes Fulcher. Fulcher with the runner. Shot no good. Nice powerful rebound.
Another second chance rebound.
And
drop,
to the
step,
lane.
and spin.
And they're going to wave it off. They're going to wave it off by Keyshawn Mason.
Foul on the ground.
Foul on the ground. If it's the NBA, that's a 2.
That's 2 because that continuation call would have been in effect. But I do like most definitely the move that the big man Mason, he was able to get the ball, drop, step, and spin, kiss it off the glass nicely.
Yeah, and that's nice.
Could have almost had the and one there, but again, they called it differently here at the NAIA level.
2 team fouls now called against the Lions now. Ball on the left wing. Ball in the hands of Fulcher. Fulcher finds a crease. Steps through the defense. Kiss off the glass. Shot no good. Rebound by Aaron Lemon Warren, who's checked in the game now, and returned also as Joshua Smith for the Lions. Across the timeline goes Mario McKinney as Bryce Monroe takes a spot on the bench. 13 minutes to go in the first half of this one. Mario McKinney spots up from the left wing.
Misses.
Shot no good. And
foul
this time
over
they're
the
going
back.
to catch a foul against Keyshawn Mason that time.
Yeah, Mason don't like the call, but he was on Josh Smith's back as he was going up to rebound. Again, this is the third combination that the Langston Lions have thrown out on the floor. You got McKinney, you got Bryce, you got Lemon Warren, and you have Epps and Josh Smith. So again, another combination.
So Xander Baker has come in the game for his first action today. And number 33, Majak Manyang, has come back in the game as well. So Josh Gamlin having a conversation with the officials. Talking about dinner plans, as I'm sure. Going to work the ball back in. Mario McKinney. Bounce pass inside. It's going to be deflected out of bounds. It's going to be kicked. It will be Lions ball. Jamison Epps likely to throw it in. Or they're going to take it out from underneath the goal.
Yeah.
So Bryce Monroe comes back in for Cameron Bryce, and now Jamison Epps comes out.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that combo thinking, okay, you got 3 small forwards on the floor, 2 guards.
Ball in the hands of Josh Smith. Foul back to Bryce Monroe. Cameron Bryce catches and fires for 3. Shot no good.
Loose ball.
Goes around, and it's going to be
turnover.
stopped. Turnover back to Mario McKinney, who thought about the 3. And they're going to call what?
Shot clock didn't reset.
All right, so we're going to get an adjustment on the clock right here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 28 seconds on the shot clock now because we had a quick change of possession real quick there. So ball back in the hand of Bryce Monroe. MACU has been able to stop the onslaught early on by the Lions, but the question is, as Aaron Lemon Warren fires for 3, shot no good. Rebound by Mario McKinney. Inside, a nice block there. Nice job by Terrence Gaines. He had a nice block on that, stayed with it, didn't give up on the play.
Yeah, Mario McKinney, he has incredible leaping ability. He got way up for that offensive rebound, was trying to put it back, but again, MACU wasn't having it.
Bryce Monroe now has it. Monroe off the screen, turns and fires from the left wing, and
drains
Bryce Monroe. Bryce knocking down another 3-point shot. 19-7. As it stands right now, Bryce Monroe's unconscious with 8 first-half points. Not to be outdone by Cameron Bryce's 7 for the Lions. Nice job trying to put pressure on is Mario McKinney. Gaines being covered by Mario McKinney. Down low goes Gaines. He can't get it.
Wow.
And what a slam by Fulcher, who rose up and found it at just one hand and slammed it back in.
Golly. He caught that perfectly off the rim and slammed it back. 19-9 Langston leads.
Bryce Monroe now standing above the circle. Ball in the hands of Cameron Bryce. Back to Joshua Smith, who swings it over to Aaron Lemon Warren into the corner. Back to Aaron Lemon Warren. Monroe looking for the screen. Monroe pulls up again. And Monroe!
He's insane!
Somebody needs to find him. He is straight money right now.
Yeah.
And he's gone into double digits. He's got 11 first-half points. One of Bryce Monroe's highest output scoring games of the season came against MACU when he scored 24.
Rebound Cameron Bryce.
Back on November 26th. So coming across the timeline now goes Monroe. 10:52 to go. Hand off to Bryce. Ball back in the hands of Monroe. Monroe stutter step dribble into the lane. Turns and fires from the elbow. Elbow jump shot no good. Rebound put down by Manyang.
What was the call? A foul?
But they're going to call against Aaron Lemon Warren, number 15. So substitution, Jamison Epps comes in. So does Cameron McCoy. Bryce is out. Lemon
Lotto.
Warren's out, and Lotto is back in. Also returning back in the game for MACU, number 25, Keyshawn Mason is back in the game.
Yep, and number 0, Juwan White.
So across the timeline now goes White. Gets it to Xander Baker. Baker in the lane.
Yeah, they're going to call foul on Jamison Epps.
Jamison Epps going to get him as Baker had something in his tank he was getting ready to put out there. But he's fouled by Jamison Epps. That's team foul number 4 against the Lions. 3 team fouls thus far against MACU. So Juwan White to throw it in underneath the goal. Ball in the corner now. Fulcher fires from 3. Shot no good. Rebound by McKinney.
Wait a minute.
Foul on the ground here. Let's see what they got. And the foul's going to be against number 5, Cameron McCoy. He's going to get called for the push there.
Huh.
So it will be MACU ball. 5 team fouls for the Lions now. 2 away from the bonus is MACU. Keyshawn Mason going to work. Back spin move in the lane, and he backed him down.
Wow.
What a nice power move.
It was. I mean, he faked the spin, came right back again, finger rolled it right across.
I saw flashes of Karl Malone. I know that's not.
It did have some. It kind of looked something like it, you know.
All right, doing some work there on the outside. Going downhill is McKinney, almost loses it.
Yeah, he almost traveled too.
Ball back in the hands of Amaro Lotto, who fires a 3 on his own.
was
Lotto
out of
can't
system.
miss it. And this time they're going to be fouled on the ground, and they're going to get Man Yang, keeping Jamison Epps from getting to the ball.
Yeah, the guys got tied up on 3-3. Majak Manyang, he kind of had his arms kind of wrapped around a little bit as he's substituting out.
That's a big foul against Majak.
It is.
So now going back to work substitution as Torrance Gaines is back in the game as well. So he's coming in for Majak Manyang. Going to get the ball inbounded in. It's going to be deflected out of bounds. Nice job there. Quentin Woodson, who's back, knocked that and deflected it out of bounds. Nice job by him. Jamison Epps to throw it in. Monroe looking for a screen. Kicks it. Jamison Epps for 3. Epps misses everything on that one. McCoy on the ground is going to be a jump ball situation.
Possession stays with the Lions.
Will be Lion ball now. 9:39 to go. Substitution. Joshua Smith comes back in, and Cameron Bryce comes in. So McKinney's out, and looks like Cameron McCoy is out. Jamison Epps to throw it in. Jamison Epps, Langston's leading rebounder per game. He grabs about 7, but we've seen him with the double-doubles here lately, where he's capable of doing a lot more. Joshua Smith, who's yet to get in the scoring column yet. Ball in the hands of Bryce Monroe on the right wing. Monroe drives, up fakes, back over to Bryce, and no one took a look at the shot clock. Nice job on the defensive end by MACU. Lions weren't paying attention and took advantage. 11-point lead for the Lions right now.
Yeah, too many passes, wasn't aware of the shot clock, didn't understand that they had to get that shot off quickly. They were under 10.
Juwan White across the timeline now. White being covered by Cameron Bryce. Back over right now to Mason. Mason going to work downhill against Joshua Smith.
He is putting on a show so far in this first half.
What a job by Mason. He is the team leading scorer with 6 in the first half. 9:05 to go. Across the timeline now. Going to hand the ball off to Bryce to Epps. Over to Joshua Smith, who's yet to get in there. Joshua Smith to the basket, strong on his side.
Strong.
Couldn't get it to fall, and Terrence Gaines with the rebound. Ball back in the hands of White. And Coach Gamlin is telling his team, get set on the offensive end. Going to swing it back over to Mason. Mason gets it back over to the hands of Gaines. Bounce pass inside now to Woodson.
Yeah, they like that matchup right there.
And Woodson goes to work and draws a foul against Cameron Bryce, who's a little bent over after that hit right there.
Yeah.
He took a hit in the midsection there. Team foul number 6, so now Woodson going to the free throw line.
As soon as I saw Woodson in the low block against Bryce, I thought immediately, okay, that's a big versus a guard. Even though Bryce is a taller 6'6" type guy, 6'5" type guy, he just doesn't have the mass to keep up with Woodson.
All right, Woodson knocks down a free throw. And this is another reason the path back in this game for MACU is clear. Attack the box.
That's right.
Against Langston.
And considering the fact that Langston's had 3 straight possessions, no score, they've been stuck on 22 for a while as MACU begins to climb and chip away at that lead.
Xander Baker's back in the game as nice shot knocked down there by Woodson. Knocks it down to a 7-point advantage. It was just 11, as Gary just pointed out about 3 minutes ago. Here comes Bryce Monroe. Ball back in the hands of Hughes. Hughes back over to Monroe. Monroe trying to get around the screen. Monroe sets, fires. 3-point shot's no good. Here comes Juwan White with it. Nearly loses it. Pass down low, and it's going to be deflected by a Langston cheerleader. It was out of bounds. It's still going to remain, of course, here, as it's going to remain MACU ball. So Juwan White to throw it in.
I can't help but to notice how MACU, they're working their way back in because they're not just living, even though they just hit this 3 ball, right?
Torrance Gaines for 3.
Yeah, Gaines drains it from the top of the key. MACU's been getting back in this game by second chance opportunities and getting paint touches, something that we need to watch. Langston's been taking a lot of shots from up around the key, longer shots. They really need to see if they can't make every possession count.
Bryce Monroe inside, and somebody decided to go to the cup.
Yep, he went to the paint.
And puts the Lions back up by 6, 7:37 to go before the end of the first half. Lions with 16 fouls, 4 against MACU. And MACU's continuing to put pressure on the interior.
Overplay by Lemon
and
Warren.
Quentin Woodson scores it. Count the basket for Quentin Woodson as he did a spectacular job. Again, the play on the interior by Quentin Woodson and also Keyshawn Mason has been extremely impressive as Woodson now has 5.
Yeah, that overplay defensively by Lemon Warren pretty much opened up the path to the basket and hung Cameron Bryce, out to dry defensively. And so, again, there's no substitute for staying between the man and the basket, even when you do have help defense.
Woodson has 5 points in the game. Correct that.
Rims out.
Rims out on that one. Thought he might have had 6, but it remained there. 4-point margin. MACU climbing the ladder back into the game.
Came out of nowhere.
Cameron McCoy is in the game now. Back Mario McKinney, half to Bryce Monroe. Bryce Monroe in double digits in the first half. And Monroe with the crossover.
Yep.
And now the ball is bouncing around.
Turnover.
It's going to end up being a turnover as Cameron McCoy has it. And then a timeout's going to be called here as a wild scramble drill took place here.
Yeah.
That was a wild sequence right there, Gary.
It really was. It was just bodies flying everywhere. And I think this timeout is happening actually at a very good time, Mo, because given the transition, given the somewhat empty possessions we're talking about in the last, 5 to 6 minutes, the Langston Lions have only made 1 basket, right, with multiple trips up the court, whereas MACU has been extremely efficient in their possessions since they've been going.
What's crazy is when you say that, it's absolutely true. And here are the numbers to back up what you said. Field goal shooting. You're talking about MACU shooting 8 of 17, 47%. Langston, on the other hand, 9 of 23, 39%. Langston has fallen in love with that 3-point shot a little bit too much.
Right.
4 of 11, 36%. MACU's only shot 6 of them, only hit 1, but the difference in that is empty possessions.
Yeah.
So shot selection has been better on the interior. Notice it's almost around 50%.
Yeah.
And that's all about what MACU's doing on the interior. We're talking about the play of Quentin Woodson and Keyshawn Mason has been superb.
It has been superb.
Across the timeline, though, goes Bryce Monroe. Monroe, one of the Lions, in double digits with 13.
There's Hughes, turns it over, dribbles the ball off his foot.
So an unforced error there.
Yeah.
So Amaro Lato comes back in the game for
just one of those situations where Coach Wright did not want to see Darius Hughes try to drive the ball from the top of the key. He wants to protect the ball, pass the ball.
So the officials said we're going to reset. Quentin Woodson bounces it in to Juwan White. Here come the Evangels. Ball in the hands now. Swing to Fulcher. Fulcher, he gets going from the outside, and tough pass there, but nicely obtained there by Gaines. Gaines with the pull-up.
Drains it.
Three-point shot, and it is officially a one-point game.
Just
Here
like that.
comes MACU.
Yep, storming back. Down by one only.
Lions had a lead as big in this first half. If I'm not mistaken, the largest lead of the game was 11 points. But bad pass down low.
It was no reason actually at all for Mario McKinney to even make that extra pass. He was 5 feet from the basket. It could have been an easy short little jump shot, or with one more step, he could have been at the rim.
Want to point this out. I said it was an 11-point was the biggest margin of lead. It was 13. But here is a big foul.
Yeah, it was.
5:50 to go. That's team foul number 8. So to the line 1-1 goes MACU. Now MACU has not shot from the free throw line very well, but 3 of 5, you can start changing that with opportunities here.
Oh, yeah.
Woodson squares and shoots. Knocks it down.
You keep giving them chances, and they'll keep making them. They'll get better. If they're not shooting well early, you keep putting them on the line. MACU's going to figure out a way to make these.
With point number 7, he can give the MACU,
rims
and the
out
game
the
is
second.
tied. So it is tied. So going back to work, 24 up, 5:45 to go. Bryce Monroe across the timeline now. Going to get picked up by Fulcher. Ball in the hands of Jamison Epps, who's in the game, right to Joshua Smith. Going to swing it over to Monroe. Monroe, stutter step dribble. Pass inside. Joshua Smith hangs in the air and fires and gets a 2.
Glass.
His first points of the night. He's got officially 2. 26-24, Lions back up by 2. Juwan White back in the hands now. White, who is yet to score in this game, on the right wing, being covered by Monroe. They clear it out. White wants to go to work. White backs him down, turns and fires in the lane. Shot, soft touch, no good.
Offensive rebound by MACU.
Woodson with the rebound. And Fulcher almost tied up by Lotto, and they reset. So the ball back in the hands. And contact's going to be made.
So they're going to call it on Josh Smith.
So Joshua Smith going to be called for the foul. If I'm not mistaken, that is his first foul of the night.
Timeout, MACU.
Timeout, but going to the free throw line will be, as they got 9 team fouls.
Yep.
So we're going to say here, the timeout has been called. It is a full timeout, and we'll take one here as well. You're listening to the semifinals of the men's 2025 men's bracket of the Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament, presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union.
At TFCU, we get it. You want the money part to be easy. From everyday spending alerts to mobile controls, like turning on and off a lost debit card, to earning more with high-yield checking. We help you spend your money and your time on what matters most to you. Get checking for all. Checking that fits you. From the credit union you trust, when it's you and TFCU.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely
Welcome
human.
back
Seeing each
to the
play
Sooner
with your
Athletic
own
Conference
eyes.
men's postseason tournament.
At
Number 2
TFCU,
seed
we get
Langston
it. You want
being hounded very well by the 3 seed, MACU. As it stands right now, Gary, you made a great observation during that timeout about the shots the Lions are taking. First half shots, Bryce Monroe has 10 of the Lions shots. And you're saying, well, how that's not all that bad if he's making it. Yes, it is, because the offense can be targeted and better executed. Josh Gamlin knows how to basically attack that by putting traps up and making Monroe do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, they'll put Monroe in a situation real quick where he has to run through 2 defenders in order to see a shot. And once he begins to slow that down defensively, MACU slows down Monroe, then you're going to have Monroe struggling to find the open player, especially if they're rotating the defense appropriately.
2 for 2 on the free throw in. Juwan
26
White
all.
gets his first 2 of the game, under 5 minutes to go in the first half of this one. Outstanding game here at CF Gales on the campus of Langston University. Amaro Lotto has it. Going to get it back to Bryce Monroe. Bryce Monroe looking for a screen. He changes it. Joshua Smith. And Monroe's really not giving that screener a chance to set up. Amaro Lotto fires a three, and Amaro Lotto splashes it down.
Nope.
On the other end,
they relaxed.
Hits the Jets and gets it back within one.
Just like that. I mean, just because guys aren't hustling back on defense, MACU takes advantage of that loaf and gets an easy basket.
Monroe across the timeline. 4:04 to go. Monroe swings it. Smith has it. Smith loses it. He's on the ground, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Turnover.
And it's going to be MACU ball.
Yep.
So substitution. Epps is out, Bryce is in. For MACU, you've got Woodson, Gaines, Mason, Wooten, and I do believe down there as well is number 11, Xander Baker. No, that's Fulcher in the corner. Good defense by the Lions, swings it over. Mason says, I like the three, and he knocks that down.
Josh
the big
Smith,
guy is showing his range. Hand down, man down, as they say so often. And right now, looking at that, Mason now has 9.
Yeah, Josh Smith got lost on the switch.
Amaro Lotto, who just knocked down the 3 for the Lions. Back in the hands of Monroe. Monroe looking for that screen. Joshua Smith tries to set up. Monroe. Almost loses it.
Too much dribbling.
6 seconds, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Lotto has it. Now Monroe pulls up from deep, and Monroe misses. Rebound by Fulcher.
Yeah, that was just a total waste of a possession right there.
And on the other end, hard foul on the
Lotto.
other end as Jawan White went to the basket hard. Hard foul on the play. MACU's up by 2, 31-29, and now Fulcher has a chance. So they're going to call a foul. So Fulcher gets up. He's tough. He's a basketball player.
Yeah.
He's got 6. But Fulcher.
You mean White?
White is going to the free throw line. Okay, I thought that was Fulcher who hit the deck. I apologize. So now going to the line goes White. He's got 2 in the game thus far, just got 2 from the free throw line. He can expand the lead as now the Lions have put MACU in the double bonus. White knocks it down. That's his 3rd point of the night. Substitution, Cameron McCoy, Joshua Smith comes out. And then Bryce comes in, not Bryce, Aaron Lemon Warren comes in. And right now Chris Wright is looking for a combination.
Yeah, he is, because I'm looking at this combination. It's a small lineup here.
33-29 what it is right now. Lions down by 4. McCoy hands off to McKinney. McKinney goes downhill, and he's going to be fouled.
Yep.
Drops it, kisses it high off the glass. We're going to get a foul there by Keyshawn Mason, who disagrees with the call. And if I'm not mistaken, for Mason, that is foul number 2 for him. So Mario McKinney going to the free throw line, I do believe, for the first time tonight. He has not gotten the scoring column yet. Kind of gingerly coming to the free throw line.
Yeah, he went down hard. I mean, he was pretty high up in the air and came down. I guess he was just fouled just enough.
And nice shot there by McKinney. McKinney wearing the multicolored kicks.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's got some sheen on it, some shine.
Yeah, some glitter. Look, glitter. I tell you what, boy, I tell you.
McKinney knocks that one down.
2 different colors.
On both shoes.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's like the rainbow.
Exactly.
All right.
We'll call them the Skittles.
The Skittles.
All right, into the game this time. Dalen Andrews is in the game for the first time tonight for the Lions. Lions trying to make a statement on the outside. And a pass down low. And an easy basket for
Langston got caught with the double team trap up on the wing here.
And Jawan White scores his 6th point of the first half. 2:29 to go.
Yep, Langston down by 4.
And it hasn't been just a couple of big shots. What MACU has done, as they say, walk you down. As McCoy into the lane,
loses
has it locked, taken away. Jawan White now has it. Ball back in the hands of Fulcher. Fulcher throws it to Gaines. Gaines in the corner. Gaines up fakes, kicks it back out. Fulcher up fakes, drives into the lane. Fulcher finishes with the runner. Shot no good. Rebound finally controlled by McCoy. Lions need to control the boards a little bit better here. 4-point advantage now for MACU. Andrews.
Oh.
Back over to McCoy. Almost got away from him there. As Lotto lines up another 3. Shot no good. Rebound by White.
Yeah, I mean, 3 ball after 3 ball after 3 ball.
Lions are shooting 5 of 15 from 3, 33%.
Yeah. They better watch that.
Going to work goes White. White is going to have the ball.
Turnover.
He's going to turn the ball over. Good on-ball defense there by Andrews.
Yep.
So 1:30 to go. Substitution. Bryce Monroe comes in for Mario McKinney. So Aaron Lemon-Warren comes out and Jamison Epps returns. MACU has just done a sensational job by the quality of the shots. They've had 18 first half points in the paint.
Hey, tell you what, paint touches make the difference. Let me tell you, higher percentage all the way around.
And Andrews tiptoes through the tulips, almost traveled there.
Yeah, he
Lotto
got away with one.
back in the hands of Monroe.
Okay.
And they're going to stop action here to get the moisture up off the floor. And MACU fans don't like it.
No, they don't like it, but player safety is very, very important here.
Nobody wants to have someone get hurt
not
on a court issue.
Especially as an official when you see that there is moisture on the floor.
11 seconds on the shot clock now. 1:10 to go before the end of the first half. 35-31. Lions need a basket. MACU has been stifling off the Lion offense possession by possession. Monroe has it tapped away. Fulcher ends up with the steal. Fulcher down, inside. Shot going to be fouled on that. So 2 shots coming for him. As the foul's going to be called against number 12. Looks like that's Dalen Andrews. So Fulcher going to the line shooting 2. 58.6 seconds to go. Fulcher looking to extend. Knocks down the free throw there. Fulcher finding a way to start climbing into the game. He is the team's leading scorer over the course of the season. Fulcher has 2 for 2. He's got 8 points. Mason is still the high flyer for the Evangels in the first. But multiple MACU players are on the brink of passing into double digits here. Monroe, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Monroe goes into the lane. And to me, it's going to be a jump ball situation that will be MACU ball.
It will.
To me, I'm going to just be honest with you. Monroe's going too fast.
Yeah.
He's got to let the screener set. When he comes around the corner, they're double teaming him, triple teaming him, trying to get the ball out of his hand. It's no secret that he has been the high flyer for the Lions.
I just said it earlier. I said when they start running 2 players at him, when they start doubling him, and those double teams look differently, right? It could be, we're going to let you get into the paint and double you with help defense, or we're going to run 2 players at you off of a switch, or when you come up with the high, pick and roll sort of game, we'll just put the double on you at that time. So there's a number of different ways that you can get the double team on a player like Monroe. And Monroe, quite honestly, needs to recognize that and find the open player instead of trying to beat the double team with the dribble.
8 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. 16 on the shot clock. On Woodson, did not get the shot to fall.
They call a block on Mario McKinney.
They call a block as Mario McKinney hits the floor. So going back to the free throw line goes Quentin Woodson. Woodson on his own right has 6 first half points, and he can extend the lead, which is 6 already by MACU, and put some more up on the Lions now. Knocks down the first free throw. He's got 7. As a team, MACU's continuing to get better as a team. 14 free throws, Gary.
Yeah.
11 of 14, 78%.
I can't wait to see the stats at halftime.
Quentin Richardson fires again.
Oh, air
and
ball.
that one draws no iron at all. Langston student section letting him hear about it. Shot clock turned off. McKinney's going to walk it up. Or excuse me, Monroe's going to walk it up. Lions down by 7. Andrews now in the box. Monroe looking for space in the lane. Tries to swing it down low to Josh Smith.
He
Smith
loses
can't get it. And Gaines ends up with it as time expires at the end of the first half. It's a 7-point lead as MACU has made a statement in the first half and up by 7 against the Lions. We'll be back in about 7 minutes to break down the first half of this game. You are listening to Game 2 tonight of the men's basketball bracket of the 2025 Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament. The winner trying to join to play against Nelson tomorrow night. We'll be right back. Tonight's game is being presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. We'll see you in about 7 minutes.
At TFCU, we get it. You want the money part to be easy. From everyday spending alerts to mobile controls, like turning on and off a lost debit card, to earning more with high-yield checking. We help you spend your money and your time on what matters most to you. Get checking for all. Checking that fits you. From the credit union you trust, when it's you and TFCU.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
Welcome back to the 2025 men's bracket of the Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. Maurice Prince and Gary Woods here. Gary, let's just talk about what we saw from MACU first.
Yes, sir.
Before we spend any time talking about Langston.
Yeah.
What an amazing half as MACU and Coach Josh Gamlin has to be proud of his team as MACU showed their true pedigree in the first half of this game. 12 of 22 shooting, 54%, 3 of 7, and it's not that they hit and shot 40, nearly 43% from 3, although that is nice. It's only 7 shots. First half at the free throw line, 15 times at the free throw line, knocking down 11 of them, 73 points. It's the 18 points in the paint. But I'm going to say this, and it's not crazy for me to say this, but if this was a horror movie, MACU Michael Myers, the Langston.
Yeah, they do.
You up here running, thinking you going somewhere.
Right.
And they literally walked you down.
Yep.
And then you turn around, look at the scoreboard, and they're up by 7. An unbelievable job by them in the first half. There's no player in double digits, but everybody on MACU's roster that saw time contributed.
Yeah.
Gary, what's your thoughts on what MACU did?
The first thing that jumps off the page at me, Maurice, when I look at this is scoring distribution. You know, the highest player has 9 points. The lowest player has 6 points. They have 5 players, you know, contributing between 6 and 9 points. Let's start with that. Then when you look at the other numbers, it screams efficiency. What is the efficiency? Well, they shot 15 free throws for an average of about 73%. But when you look at their three-point shooting, 42.9, field goal shooting, 54.5. And then also 2 points off turnovers, 15. So that tells me that these guys are playing a good brand of team basketball. They're very, very efficient. They're not wasting possessions up and down the floor. You got great distribution across the starting lineup and those players that are subbing in. And so they're playing a good brand of team basketball.
If you're now talking about Langston now.
Yeah, different story.
Different story. Langston came out knocking down a few three-pointers, and what you hate is, if you're a Lion fan, is you felt a little bit too much in love with that long ball.
Yep.
So we talk about 15 free throws for MACU. Langston shot 15 three-point shots,
right,
knocking down only 5 of them.
Right.
33% is not just horrible, but it's horrible when you have a team that's playing efficient on the other end. It's one thing if you're shooting and they're shooting, but MACU saying, okay, you shoot the 3, we'll go get the 2.
Right.
You turn the ball over, we'll go to the free throw line.
Right.
You know, and it's the shot selection that is really played, given an advantage to MACU.
Yeah, and their paint touches are translating into free throw attempts. So when they go up the floor, what are they doing? They're getting into the paint, they're getting fouled, they're getting to the free throw line, they're shooting 11 more free throws than Langston. They're hitting 73% of them. So they're not coming out of possessions with nothing. They're coming out of possessions with something. And we haven't even gotten into points that are scored off of offensive rebounds. And we're not looking at also, here's the other key point. And I want to talk about this, Mo. In the first half, Langston went 4 minutes and 29 seconds without scoring a basket. When you look at that in comparison to MACU, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Again, they're winning the efficiency game all the way around. And we're not even talking about the number of turnovers that Langston have in the first half. We saw several opportunities where Langston was into the paint. They turned the ball over due to a mishandle, or the ball goes off their foot, or some sort of other unforced error.
And that's because there's too much going on with Bryce Monroe. There's not enough other Lions involved. So let's talk about that. So the Lions shot 11 of 28, 39%, right?
Yep.
So that means they shot 28 shots, all right? Made 11 of them.
Yep.
5 of those were made by Bryce Monroe, but he was 5 of 11. So if you take 11 of his shots versus the 28, he's getting 39% of the offense of the ball in his hand.
Yep.
And Monroe is now falling into the trap that MACU is setting. They present him opportunities right off, looks like the screen.
Yep.
Monroe, instead of letting the screener set the play and slowing it down, chooses to attack. Every time he finds the attack, Gary said in the first half, Mid-America is collapsing.
Yep.
They are also running at him, maybe 2, maybe 3 defenders, maybe on the catch, maybe it's when the ball hits the ground. Monroe's not getting a great shot, therefore it's a bailout 3 by Lotto or Bryce or someone, Jamison Epps, who is open, but they're taking the bait and shooting the shot that's not high percentage.
No, you're right. I mean, so when you look at the point distribution for the Lions, 13 points by Monroe. The next player is Cameron Bryce with 7, but after that, it drops like a rock. Lotto has 5, McKinney has 2, Joshua Smith, the big man, only has 2 points.
And there is you. And in terms of that, only 2 points off your bench.
Right.
Now, that's not a big number in this game because MACU only has 7. But what I'm saying is, Gary said it earlier, everybody who's stepping in the game for MACU is contributed at least 6 points or more.
Right.
So so you can't focus on one person. At any given time, you might have Fulcher drive down in the paint. Then you turn around, you've got Tyshawn Mason doing work. And if it's not him, it's Quentin Woodson doing the same thing. So shot selection has been a tremendous factor on this. So how do the Lions get back in this game, Gary?
Well, the Lions really need to focus on, again, paint touches. They have to either make a basket or get to the free throw line. That's what's going to stop that clock. That's what's going to enable them to maybe rest a little bit and make some free throws, get back on defense in the half-court set as it relates, instead of points off of misses or turnovers.
And the most effective the Lion defense is when MACU was taking the ball out of the basket.
Right, half-court game. They need to get back to the half-court game. But then the other part of it too is that Bryce Monroe, he really needs to look to make the extra pass. Right now, he's kind of creating his own shot, or he's creating the shot off of the high pick. But they need to pass the ball around. They need to distribute it and get other players involved instead of the offense flowing through Bryce Monroe.
Okay, back to live action. Second half has officially begun. Tonight's game being presented by Oklahoma Ford dealers as Lotto fires up a 3 and knocks one down.
Yeah.
So that puts them back within 4 now. So you've got the original starters on the floor for both teams right now. Ball in the hands now of Gaines.
And
turnover. Trying to throw it, and it's a turnover. Again, once the Lion defense can lock in, once you got it taking out of the goal. The only problem is I can't rely on Langston's three-point shooting.
No, you're going to have to get that ball in closer.
I mean, and again, I'm going by something you said. You know, if the three-point shot is working, we're going to rock it till it's not. But the numbers say it's not.
It's not. It's not there. I mean, let me say this. Shooting 33% is not horrible, but it ain't good. And when you're not getting paint touches, that number looks bad.
Okay, Lotto now has it above the circle. Is going to swing it to the left wing. Back in the hands of Lotto. Lotto off the Smith. Screen.
Oh,
and
good Lord.
Mario
Bad
McKinney
pass.
threw it into the third row.
Well, when the ball rotated to the wing, to the left to Cameron Bryce, he could have attacked on the weak side, but he passed the ball back out. They got to recognize their opportunities to get into the paint.
Ball in the hands now of Juwan White. Getting the ball down low.
Rebound,
Mason.
Mario
Shot
McKinney.
no good. Ball back in the hands of Monroe. Lions down by 4. 18:59 to go in the game. Monroe on the left wing. Back up top. Cameron Bryce fires a 3. Shot no good. Rebound by Maniang.
I mean, the Lions continue to fire up the 3 ball. Nobody's even looking at getting into the paint.
Fulcher being covered now by Cameron Bryce. He's going to lose it, and Lotto's going to slow it down wisely.
Yep.
Now let's see it. Let the Lions get into a half court and do some work.
They got to get into a half-court set. They got to figure out a way to get into the paint. Oh,
and
nice
Bryce Monroe hits him with the sauce, a little left, right, and then a burst to the basket for 2. Lions back down by 2. off to a 5-0 run to start this second half. Ball back in the hands of Fulcher. Mason now has it. Ball in the hands of White, gets it back.
Got to rotate.
And then you got to get up on top, and a three-point shot's no good. And then they're going to foul there by Manyang. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is his third foul.
That is third.
So,
whoa.
Okay, so they're calling the foul on Joshua Smith.
Oh, wow.
So, first team foul against the Lions. Stand corrected. I apologize, folks. Going to move the ball around. Now back in the hands of Manyang. Manyang
steps out
on the end line. So the Lions with a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession here. Bryce to throw it in. All right, back to live action. Monroe now has it. 7:56 to go. Maurice Prince and Gary Woods on the call this evening, trying to fill up that final team to punch their ticket to the championship game tomorrow night. Mario McKinney doing work in the lane. Mario McKinney off the glass. Shot no good, but like the fact that he went into the paint.
Yeah, most definitely.
So White.
There's a double. They got to rotate back.
So back in the hands of Gaines.
You got the mismatch underneath. Big on a guard.
Going to swing it back out. Gaines fires a three from the left wing. Shot no good. Rebound by Bryce. So across the timeline goes Monroe, who's in the lane and then kicks it to the outside. Mario McKinney dumps it down, and Cameron Bryce gets
That's
it to.
The extra pass, though, made the difference. That's good team basketball right there.
And we're all tied up at 38. Bryce looking like he took a shot on his shoulder. Trying to work out that pain on the left shoulder there. Working the ball around. White is going to skip pass, cross court. Again, Fulcher in the lane. Fulcher's going to have it blocked by Joshua Smith. And now Mario McKinney slips, throws it over to Lotto. Lotto now has it. Ball knocked loose. Lotto now has it across the timeline. In the lane. And Lotto bounce pass inside.
Turnover.
What a steal by Torrance Gaines. And it's going to be close to an intentional foul there.
Yeah, it is.
What a wild sequence again.
Very wild.
Multiple change of possessions here. And then as it ended up, back in the hands then of MACU. Foul's going to be called against Lotto. Chris Wright at the scorer's table now.
There's still a ton of emotion with this game.
So no. So Chris Wright looks like the middle of the floor. So Chris Wright is furious down here on court side here, as it's going to be a technical foul called. Now we're going to go back to the free throw line as Fulcher's going to shoot here. And Fulcher knocks it down. He's got double digits now. He's got 10, but a technical foul is going to be assessed against the Lions, and now it will be MACU ball. They're up by 2. 16:28 to go.
What do you think that Coach Wright is upset about?
More than likely the call itself. You know, about the possession. That probably is the most adjustable, or as Jawan White has knocked down and got 9 in the game. 43-38. The lead is back up to 5. MACU responds to the Langston early run in the second half of this game. Langston had led 7-0, but 5 great points by MACU has put them right back on top. So
yeah, Coach Wright is still livid. He's out in the middle of the court making the argument.
So he's on the court side talking. He's talking to the coaches over there and the officials on the other side there. So the officials are getting it all cleared up. But that was just crazy overall what we got going there. So Chris Wright, okay now, as a timeout's been called on the floor. We're going to stay right here. Langston came out, Gary, fall in love with that three-point shot. They got a couple of them to knock down, but then MACU storms back. But that discussion about that technical foul is still getting under the skin of Chris Wright.
Yeah, it is.
Now, you can argue, and again, I don't know if you could have used a challenge there to debate that call, but I don't think you use it there.
I don't know either. I don't know. And quite honestly, I'm still trying to understand. I can't recall exactly what the call was.
Well, they called the technical foul maybe to the reaction.
The lotto
play.
Intentional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought it was intentional, but the announcer said technical, so that's where I got confused.
Oh.
So you see what I'm saying? Because intentional foul is that and the ball. Same thing with a technical foul, but I didn't quite understand what that was as Monroe fires a three. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be MACU ball.
Yeah.
And here you're providing the Evangels a chance to build on the lead.
Settling for the three-point shot is not where you want to go.
The Lions, in terms of three-point shooting right now, are 6 of 18, 33%. Across the timeline now goes Juwan White, who on the season averages right around 14.2 points per game. Ball back in the hands of Bryce. Bryce to the basket and draws contact. And to me, if I'm Bryce, you got to slow down just a little bit. I know it raises the block opportunity, but you got to find a way to get that one in. It was you and the goal.
Yeah, well, he got a guy on his back, though. I mean, I just didn't see him going up for that layup without drawing some contact. I'm looking at the defender from MACU, full head of steam.
Oh, he was charged up.
Yeah, he was charged up.
And Bryce misses the free throw.
First one.
Now, see, I gave Bryce all the props in the world. He's a 94% free throw shooter.
I know, right? Well, nobody's perfect.
Cameron Bryce with 9, make that 10 now. Becomes the Lions' second player in double-digit scoring. Juwan White quietly, as that old song used to go by Roberta Flack, killing them softly.
Yeah.
Because he started off the game slow, but has now begun to pick up the pace on big-time shots.
But he's a very, very patient player. Oh, that's a travel. They called a foul?
They called a foul against Darius Hughes. They're saying he bumped him with the body.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So now, but at least it's on, at this point the foul has been called.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of why it's so important to keep that surface dry. Because we saw Juwan White's foot just completely, he almost went into a split when he tried to put his foot down and his foot went from underneath him.
And you don't want good athletes hurt.
No, you don't want anybody hurt, no.
So Juwan White to throw it in, 43-39. Lead is 4. MACU looking for more. Ball in the hands now of Woodson, back up top to Gaines. Gaines swings it. And Manyang fires, shot no good, rebound by Juwan White. It's blocked by Josh Smith. Bryce Monroe. Into the lane, Monroe goes.
He draws body.
And at
no
the other
call.
end, Mario McKinney gets the putback off the miss. So timeout called by Coach Wright. So it's a full timeout. We'll take one here as well. You're listening to Action Conference Semifinals in the men's bracket of 2025 Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament. Presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. We'll be right back.
At TFCU, we get it. You want the money part to be easy. From everyday spending alerts to mobile controls, like turning on and off a lost debit card, to earning more with high-yield checking. We help you spend your money and your time on what matters most to you. Get checking for all. Checking that fits you. From the credit union you trust, when it's you and TFCU.
Welcome back. Timeout been called on the floor by Chris Wright. And again, good putback there by Mario McKinney. The Lions need to find a way to get more paint touches where MACU has lived in that area of the game tonight. The lead is 2. And now you're going to put the ball in the hands of Juwan White. And on his next shot, he will be in the double digits. He's got 9 in the game so far. Having a sensational game. White over to Manniang. Pass to Fulcher. Fulcher, stutter step dribble to the basket.
Nice.
He goes. And a nice, easy basket for Fulcher.
Yeah, Fulcher did a really good job of just those subtle movements, right? Step left, step right, clear the way, went up.
So ball back in the hands now. Rice hands off to Monroe. Monroe works it in the hands of Bryce. To the left wing. McKinney looking, probing inside. Into the lane. Shot off the glass, no good. Rebound by MACU. Lead still 4. 4:14 to go in the game. 3 team fouls for Langston, 1 against MACU. White trying to get some daylight away from McKinney. White. Good pass inside to Woodson. Manniang from the left wing.
Drains it.
Give him all. 1, 2, 3 of those.
Nice shot by Manniang.
And the lead is up.
That presents a problem. When you got a big who can step out at the three-point line and drain it, it pulls your big away from the basket.
Lead is
now
up
you
to
don't
7.
have anybody there to protect the rim.
Joshua Smith now hands off to Monroe. Monroe looking. Monroe almost losing it. And they're going to call a foul there. Foul's going to be called against Juwan White. That is his first personal foul, team foul number 3. So Lotto comes out, and so does Cameron Bryce. Now Jamison Epps and Aaron Lemon-Warren are into the game. 13:36 to go. Lions finding themselves down 7 off another great run, a stretch of plays here on the offensive efficiency side for MACU. Ball on the left wing. Going to swing it back up top to Aaron Lemon-Warren. Ball on the left, trying to get it on the box. Double team coming.
Rotation.
Cross court over. Lemon-Warren.
Nothing there.
Thought about it. In the lane and draws to the basket
nicely
and scores
done by
as the time
Lemon-Warren.
expires on the shot clock.
Wow, he went old school George Gervin with the finger roll.
Lead down to 5. Across the timeline now goes White. White's going to swing it.
They're killing him on the switch. Stolen by Lemon-Warren.
Nice job of putting his hand in the mix, creating the turnover. Jamison Epps across the timeline now. Epps. As the Lions reset. Back in the hands of Monroe, who hands off to McKinney, who gets it and swings it to Epps. Left wing, Monroe. Monroe trying to turn the corner. Good job by Juwan White guarding him.
Nothing
3
there.
seconds. Mario McKinney lines up a 3 and fires as time expires.
Drew
off
no
the glass.
rim.
But there's going to be a foul. Oh, nope, it's going to be
He
shot
didn't
clock
draw-
violation.
Shot clock violation. He drew no rim.
Lions have got to do a better job of recognizing shot clock, and another testament to the great defense being played tonight by MACU.
Well, the issue in that possession was the ball stayed out on the perimeter. There were opportunities to penetrate, but MACU did a very good job of forcing that ball to the edges instead of giving up the middle of the lane. And so then as the clock ran out, you have the ball in Mario McKinney's hand, who's not a three-point shooter.
Foul there by Aaron Lemon-Warren as he fouls Manniang.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the free throw line shooting 2. Team foul number 4 being charged against the Lions. So second personal foul for Aaron Lemon-Warren.
But that was just excellent defense by MACU, keeping that ball out on the edges.
So now, all right, they're again putting maintenance on the court. Jock Manniang going to shoot some free throws. He's only got 3 thus far in this game. Manniang drains the first free throw. In terms of his three free throw shooting on the course of the season, he shoots about 64%. But tonight, everything looks good on the rim for MACU.
Oh, most definitely.
So substitution in the game now returns Xander Baker. So you got Torrance Gaines, Quentin Woodson, Josiah Fulcher, and of course, Majak Manniang. And he knocks down both. 7-point advantage. Monroe across the timeline, back in the hands of Aaron Lemon-Warren to Jamison Epps to the left wing. Monroe trying to turn the corner. This time Manniang's going to foul him. That is his 3rd team foul. So team foul number 3, personal foul number 3. Working the ball. Back in the hands of Aaron Lemon-Warren. Ball in the hands of Bryce Monroe. Five seconds on the shot clock. Shot goes up.
Wow.
And someone knocks down a 3-point shot.
That was Monroe.
Monroe knocking down and getting his 18th point of the game. Two Lions in double-digit scoring. Cameron Bryce. And the ball is going to be off Cameron Bryce there. So Joshua Smith comes back in for Cameron McCoy. No, Cameron McCoy stays in. And so I'm just making sure I got it. So Lotto's back in and Joshua Smith are in. Got to get it in. They do. And Fulcher.
Oh, my goodness.
A wide open basket. Landed the basket and he scores.
Wow, nice inbound play by MACU.
Bryce Monroe across the timeline now. 11:08 to go. Lead still up by 6. Lotto trying to crack the code of this MACU defense. Bryce fires a 3-point shot from the corner, and that pulls them back within 3 again. So it is a timeout called on the floor there. So it looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout called. The Lions are staying afloat, Gary, by that 3-point shot.
Yeah, but if you live by the 3, if you can't keep it up, you'll die by the 3. And as the game gets long, it's 10:57 right now, but when you start getting down around the 5-minute mark, if you don't have the legs to keep that going.
Right, so the Lions in the second half of this game are shooting 3 of 5 from deep. So it's 60%. Good number, you knocked them down, but you can't keep taking it. As far as MACU is done, 2 of 5, 40% from 3. Now MACU has not had much success on their 2s in the second half. 4 of 11, 36%, where Langston is 7 of 12, 58%. So let's take a look at the rebounding. Rebounding, Langston's +2. But where is it not translating? Still into points. So Gary, looking at points in the paint, Langston has done better. 8 points in the paint in the second half versus MACU's 4. The problem is, more than anything else, is those second chance points, where MACU is dominating that with 4 or 6 second half points on missed shots, which has allowed them to maintain this lead.
Yeah, Langston definitely needs to get into the paint more. They need to start getting to that one-on-one. This is a way for them, I think, to really get a leg up on MACU offensively, so that when they do make it a point to get into the paint and try to go to the rim, it could be a little bit more fruitful for them in terms of points scored, or at least opportunities to get points.
Wide open 3-point shot from the left wing. Joshua Smith has the ball knocked loose, so Cameron Bryce going to get credit with the rebound for controlling it. Bryce Monroe into the lane and draws contact. That's going to be team foul number 5 coming up.
That 4.
Oh, team foul number 4. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong team. You're right. So back in the game now, it goes Keyshawn Mason. Bryce to inbound. Bounce pass into Josh Smith, who swings it over to Monroe, and they reset the offense.
That's deep.
And a
He
deep
drains it.
three-point shot from the parking lot. Knocks it down as Cameron Bryce is on a heater now. Cameron Bryce officially in the game, has 16 points. We're all tied up at 52, folks. Bounce pass over to Manniang.
Up.
Deflected.
Stolen.
Bryce Monroe to the basket.
Blocked.
And the block's going to be blocked. Then Lotto gets it, and they're going to call a foul.
Lotto goes down hard.
Or Monroe. Monroe.
Officials timeout.
Official timeout. He was hit hard. He said he's getting up.
The call on the floor is 2 points. Goaltending.
So, 54-52. So, the basket counts. So the Lions have the lead 54-52, Garrett. But again, an unclear sequence. I didn't quite catch up on everything that went on right just there. Monroe was shooting. So are they calling goaltending against Monroe?
No. He was fouled as he was going up. So Monroe was going up for the layup on this off the steal, and what ended up happening was, as a part of the block, he also took a shot from behind on the body. So they called a foul. So Monroe's going to go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
All right, 54-52 is the score. Both teams have 4 team fouls apiece. 9:51 left to go in this game. And Garrett, we've seen quite a game overall. All right. So the officials were reviewing something at the scorer's table, so that's
okay.
where we were off there.
Oh, did they call a goaltending?
That's what I'm trying to get clarification on.
Oh.
So they all say it's a meeting of the mind right there at half court. The scoreboard says 54-52, and now both sets of teams, the players are all starting to gather around the officials overall.
Bucket's good.
Bucket's good.
All right, so the bucket is good.
Yeah, called a goaltending.
So 54-52, but was there not so there was no foul on the play?
No, they're just basically called a goaltending.
Okay, so 54-52, the Lions back on top. Working the ball around. Turnover there. Jamison Epps is in the game now.
Yep,
Now
he
back
gets
to
the
Mario
steal.
McKinney. Ball in the hands now of Mario McKinney looking for space. McKinney drives down into the lane.
He misses the layup.
And
Cameron Bryce gets this offensive rebound.
so back in the hands of Jamison Epps, who swings it over to Lotto. Lotto looking for a screen from Bryce. Lotto fires a three
Drains it.
and drains it. And Amaro Lotto in double digits. He's got 11 in the game. And the Lion lead is up to 5 now, 57-52. Bounce pass. Ball in the right wing. Now ball in the hands of Mason. Mason backing down Joshua Smith. Nice.
Great move by
what
Mason.
a move by Mason.
Golly.
Just a quick shimmy and turn and lay it in.
Man. Every time he gets the ball down the block, I'm just sitting there watching that young man's footwork. He's done an excellent job down there. If I'm MACU, I'm going to him more. Now, I don't know what just happened.
Bryce got bumped. It looks like he's trying to work it out.
Okay.
So Bryce comes out. I'm sorry, Cameron Bryce comes out. Bryce Monroe returns. Well, what a second half of this game by Amaro Lotto, Gary. Amaro Lotto had 5 points. 2 3-pointers to help him get to 11. But they've been big-time shots. McKinney back to Monroe. Monroe looking for space. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Pulls up for 3. Monroe shot, back rim's no good. Rebound, fought for underneath the goal. Gonna be a jump ball situation.
Whose possession?
Jump ball, possession now favors the advantage second to the game.
Okay.
So the ball goes to MACU.
7:23, Cameron Bice.
So Cameron Bice checks back into the game, and now Jamison Epps comes out. (57-54), 8:15 to go. Here comes Juwan White, still sitting on 9. Will get the ball back in the hands of Woodson. 16 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time. Up. Pass over to White on the left wing. Fires a 3, shot no good. Mario McKinney, and that's the type of shot Langston wanted them to take.
Yep.
Monroe to the lane, has the ball knocked loose. He's fouled on the floor. Team foul number 5. That foul's going to be called against Xander Baker. So 57-54.
Check to the game for lines number 2, Jamison Epps.
All right, Mario McKinney to throw it in. We're back to live action now. 7:46 to go in the game. Maurice Prince, Gary Woods on the call. What an incredible game we've seen. We've seen MACU make consistent runs and show you their talent, their pedigree, their championship knowledge on how to get it done. And they've played a sensational game overall.
They have. They absolutely have.
And they're still cleaning up some moisture up off the floor.
Well,
so who's inbounding? Okay, Bryce Monroe's going to throw it in.
Monroe's throwing it in.
7:46 to go. Lead down to 3. Langston tried to increase it. MACU wants to decrease it. Lotto off the catch, and he knocks it down. Amaro Lotto, straight cash from the corner, knocking down his 3rd three-point shot of the second half.
Gee whiz.
Big-time buckets from Amaro Lotto. He's got 14. The lead is up to 6. Gary, that was unbelievable.
That was a great inbounds play. Clean look at the basket.
At the line, shooting point for the Lions, number 3, Amaro Lotto.
All right, to the free throw line goes Lotto. Lotto on the day at the free throw line has not had any opportunities. Let's see if he can make the most of this one that he has here. There must be a lot of perspiration on the floor tonight.
Hey, man, I tell you what, a lot of games have been played, so once you start mopping the floor, it just seems like you get the oils and the sweat in it. It just, you got to constantly wipe that thing down.
Amaro Lotto now with 15 points in the game. Fire down low to Fulcher. Fulcher is going to get fouled on the play.
Yeah, Lotto's going to commit the foul.
Against Amaro Lotto. So Fulcher going to the free throw line shooting 2. As it stands right now, Fulcher has 14 points. 1 point shy of his regular season average. All right, Fulcher squares up, knocks down a shot. Does that one. Fulcher now with 15 points of his own tonight. Lions lead by 6. Fulcher steps to the line, fires, shot is good. 57-61. Fulcher with 16 right now. Monroe. Trying to find space, swings it down low to Jamison Epps. Epps to the basket, it's going to be blocked. Nice job by MACU on that play.
Yeah, great defense by MACU. Epps went up and he was met with 3 defenders. Wasn't able to get that shot off at all. He went up and they sent it right back down to the ground.
Jamison Epps, if I'm not mistaken, has not scored at all today. Cameron Bryce.
Oh, what was that?
Monroe catches it. Now he's real close. And then he turns and fires with 7 seconds.
I was about to say, what was that?
And now Cameron Bryce turns and fires on his own for 3. Shot no good.
2 3-point shots.
One tough one and one ill-advised.
Yeah.
Monroe. I'm sorry. White. Juwan White with the ball. Pass onto the box now by Woodson.
Mismatch down
Woodson
there.
in the lane. Tough off the glass. Added
call a charge.
Woodson does not like it.
Yeah.
Team foul number 7, so it should be 1 and 1.
Check to the end of the lines, number 11, Joshua Smith.
So on the next defensive foul, it'll be the bonus. And Josh Gamlin does have a right to be upset a little bit there.
Yeah. You know, that was one of those calls that could have been a good no call.
Monroe across the timeline now. Swings it over to Bryce. Bryce in the lane. Kissing it off the glass, shot no good. Ball back in the hands of Lotto, who misses the jump shot.
Yeah.
Rebound MACU, and here they come. Fulcher drives baseline. Throws it to the corner. Gaines with the reverse.
Oh, nicely done by Gaines.
Gaines hitting him with the sauce.
Golly, he pulled that one. That was Jordan-esque. Reverse layup from underneath.
61-58 is the score. Bryce Monroe kicks it to the left wing to Mario McKinney. Back up top to Joshua Smith. Monroe on the logo. On the left wing now. Gonna pull up. Monroe's shot is no good.
Yeah.
Rebound pulled down by Gaines. Here comes MACU. Juwan White is gonna be fouled
by Mario
McKinney. Team foul number 6. So now, going to throw the ball in. And it is in the hands now. Juwan White on the logo. Bounce pass over to number 24. Quentin Woodson, who gives it up to Fulcher, who has it knocked out of bounds by Lotto.
What was the call there?
It was just knocked out of bounds.
Okay.
Juwan White has it. Monroe willing to pick him up. 5:17 to go in the game. 61-58. Lions up by 3. White into the lane. Off the glass shot, no good.
Oh, blocked by
Woodson
Mario
shot,
McKinney.
gets a rebound, and it's blocked by McKinney. Here comes Monroe. Monroe nearly loses it. Stolen that time by Mason.
3-2.
Mason to the lane, strong.
Blocked by Josh Smith.
Blocked by Joshua Smith, but he got him with the body. Hopefully Mason's all right. But that was...
It's getting pretty physical out there, Mo.
Yeah, it is.
I'm seeing bodies flying. Guys are sliding across the floor. Shots being rejected. They're not getting the ball without getting some body, too. I mean, hard fouls out there.
All right. So at the line shooting 2. Here we go to the line now. Goes Keyshawn Mason. Keyshawn Mason has 11 points. Has not had the impact he did in the first half. But I'm telling you, whenever he gets it, it is box office on the box.
Man, it is.
On the block.
I mean, he's hitting them with the lateral movement, the drop step, pivot, shimmy shake, up and under. I mean, he's put together a nice game. I mean, honestly, I haven't seen a big man work it like that in a low post in a long time. At the NAIA level.
Right. So back to the free throw line goes Mason. Mason fires, shot is pure. 61-59. Looks like a full timeout has been called here, and we'll take one as well. You're listening to the Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament action from the men's bracket presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union.
At TFCU, we get it. You want the money part to be easy. From everyday spending alerts to mobile controls, like turning on and off a lost debit card, to earning more with high-yield checking. We help you spend your money and your time on what matters most to you. Get checking for all. Checking that fits you. From the credit union you trust, when it's you and TFCU.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call.
So, Garrett, we talked about it in pregame early on. The scoring margin between the teams, MACU usually 8.8. Then you got on the other side 7.9. Both teams play it close to the vest, and we've got a game right now where it's 2 points.
Yeah, barn burner, man. I mean, Maurice, I mean, it's intense, it's fast-paced, it's physical. You know, the only thing that's kind of missing a little bit is I'm still waiting on the return of the efficiency and a little bit of the chess match. You know, I think at some point in time, we're at 454. At some point in time, some guys are going to have to start looking at ways to really take advantage of every single possession.
Mario McKinney now has it. Goes downhill. Into the lane. It's going to be blocked there. Nice block by Woodson. Cameron Bryce gets it. He misses the three. And this time they're going to get McCoy.
McCoy's over the back.
So that is going to be the 8th team foul.
Yep,
so now free throws coming. So MACU can tie it right here at the charity stripe right now. The officials are now giving the thumbs up, and we're ready for Mason to shoot his free throws. Front end of a 1-and-1 opportunity. 4:37 to go. He fires and knocks it down. 61-60. He can tie it up with this one.
Yeah.
Mason with 13 points.
Rims out.
Misses the second one, and Cameron Bryce controls it. Back to Bryce Monroe. Lions up by 1. Across the timeline goes Monroe. Swings it over to Bryce. Back up top to Monroe. All right, scramble drill. Ball back in the hands of Josh Smith.
He better give it up.
And he swings it over to Amaro Lotto with 4 seconds on the shot clock. So 18 foul coming against MACU now. So 1-1 going to the free throw line goes Amaro Lotto. Lotto went at the end of the first half, had 5 points. He's come out in the second half with this one with 11. He's been solid at the free throw line as well. And he remains solid.
Got the shooter's roll on that one.
Lotto on the course of the season is about an 80% free throw shooter. One more coming. And he rattles that one in. Big free throws now.
63-60.
63-60.
408.
Across the timeline, here it comes, MACU.
Oh, nice
split there by Jawan White as he glides to the basket and scores.
He turned on the jet.
What a move. What explosion.
Yes, he
by
did.
Jawan White. He's now exploded into double digits now. He's got 11, becoming the 4th MACU player in double-digit scoring today. Smith over to Lotto. Lions lead down to 1. Lotto goes downstream, and he can't get to finish the shot, but he's fouled going back to the free throw line.
That's smart. I mean, it would have been nice if he could have converted that layup, but, you know, again, this is a possession opportunity. You're under 5 minutes, 3:33 remaining. You're up by 1. You got to go down the court, and you got to come away with something, because now there's only a handful of possessions remaining in this last 3 minutes.
So Lotto waiting on the ball, or we're cleaning up moisture again.
There's about 8 possessions remaining here if they run the shot clock out per possession.
So this is what pedigree of championships teams do. MACU has already shown it. The Lions learned to do it last year. The team that does it best today will win the game.
That's right. Now keep an eye on the fouls, though.
Lotto with 18 points now.
Timeout, Langston, 30-second timeout.
So 30-second call, timeout here by Chris Wright. So, and again, the game has kind of changed. MACU wanted a grind game.
Yep.
They got it. Langston has shown that they fare well against them in grind games to this point. Langston has hit just enough three-pointers.
I was about to say now,
right there.
Langston's been grinding defensively, but I mean, just in terms of like efficiency in the paint and things of that nature, Langston still kind of lived in the second half out on the perimeter shooting the ball.
Yeah, and the numbers back that up. They are 11 for 29 in the game.
Golly.
29 three-point shots. Now, they've knocked out 37% of them.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
29 threes?
29 threes.
That's insane, man. That is absolutely insane. How many threes have MACU taken?
14 in the game.
Yeah. Golly. You're more than doubled their three-point attempts. You're only up by 2. That tells you everything I need to know about efficiency. Rims out. Misses
front rims that one.
Yep.
Fulcher ended up pulling that one down, back in the hands of Jawan White. Jawan White just had a great explosive move to the basket. Let's see if he sets one up again. Going to kick it outside by Fulcher.
He's got to switch that. Stolen by Bryce.
Cameron Bryce did a good job of anticipating that.
That's a good opportunity for the Langston Lions right now. They got to come away with something on this possession.
All right.
Now watch MACU defensively. See what happens. Good switching defensively by MACU.
All right, ball back in the hands of Monroe. Monroe on the left
double
wing.
team.
Monroe down the lane.
Oh, my
kissing
God.
It with the runner with the left hand.
Nice runner.
Bryce Monroe now officially on the night, up to 22 points. Scored 24 against this team back on November 26th. Let's see if he can tie that mark now. Lion defense is digging in a lot more now.
Yeah.
Bounce pass inside.
Mismatch on the block.
And a nice power game, and nobody can do nothing with it.
Nothing
as
with
Quentin
that.
Woodson does what he's been doing all game long. Timely baskets. He's got 9 now. MACU still down 2. Ball on the left wing. Gonna pull up. And
Rim
draws
out.
no iron on that one.
Yep, ill-advised.
Throws it ahead, and Fulcher ends up with it. And Fulcher's going to lay it in.
He misses it.
Shot is no good.
But
Woodson ends up
MACU
with it.
gets the offensive rebound.
Bryce Monroe gets up holding his calf.
He's hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Monroe with a definitely injured that right calf.
I don't know if it's a calf or if it's a knee. MACU fans don't like it.
So Chris Wright is now getting an explanation from the officials.
He pulls his team off the floor.
As Monroe is being looked at right now. And as we sit here, timeout's been called on the floor. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. It's kind of crazy tomorrow night, Gary. These teams, two teams are going to meet. It's going to be an amazing game.
Oh, yeah.
So let me just ask you your take. How many do you think of the Sooner Athletic Conference from the men's side, how many get in? Is it 3 or is it 2?
I think it'll probably, at minimum, 2, maybe a 3.
Okay.
Maybe a 3.
Maybe a 3.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
because you kind of have to look at the how the rankings shape out, right? And then you got to go through the selection show, which is when? Thursday?
Right, Thursday at 7.
Yeah, it just I've seen some things happen where you think that you're hoping you get in, right? But that third team is definitely gonna be a road warrior.
Going to work, ball in the hands of Gaines. Gaines tries to dump it down to Woodson.
Epps down on the block.
Woodson.
Oh, wow.
Bodies him. And
Blocked
nice block by Jamison Epps. Ball squirts back out to Gaines, and no shot was up. Shot clock violation. Good job by the Langston defense as Jamison Epps in front of the student section draws some juice. So Bryce Monroe gets back in the game.
Isn't that something?
You can't keep him off the floor, man.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Monroe with 22.
He
and
calls
a timeout. And he's still hurting. Full timeout called on the floor. He will be right back. Probably the last timeout of the game. Tonight's men's bracket match, game 2 of the men's semifinals. It's the Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament, presented by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. We'll be right back.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
All right, back to live action here. 66-64. And it will be Langston ball. Lions up by 2. Across the timeline goes Bryce Monroe. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Lions need a basket to extend the lead. MACU wants to cut it off and tie this thing up. Bryce Monroe pulls up. Draws iron shot, no good.
Oh.
And Jamison Epps ends up with it. Surprised there was not traveling.
It wasn't, because he completely rolled.
So McKinney down Main Street.
Up,
Shot is going to be blocked
from behind.
And it's going to be Langston ball. And what is the rule, Gary, for those who want to understand it, about when you are sliding on the floor and you fall to the ground? What is the official rule on that?
It depends on when you actually possess the ball. If the ball is loose and you don't have possession of it and you're sliding, that's not anything. But if you possess the ball and you're sliding, I mean, it's a judgment call. It could be a no call or it could be a travel call. Just depends.
All right.
It's left up to the judgment of the official. I wish we had our Doolittle here. He could probably give you the technical rule.
Lions
5
have
seconds.
it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Monroe
Hits it.
with the floater, drops it in.
37 seconds, timeout.
Lions up by 4, 68-64. 37.2 to go. So now, if I'm Josh Gamblin and Mid-America, I'm finding a way to get a sure basket. I'm going down to Keyshawn Mason.
Most definitely.
Because the Lions likely are going to foul you. They're going to get their 9th foul, and it's going to put you in a position to score with the clock stopped.
Here's the issue. You cannot, you got 30 seconds on this thing. It's 37 seconds left in the game. You got 30 seconds on the shot clock. You cannot take forever doing this, right? You're going to need to get the ball down there, work the switch, get him where he has the matchup. Let's see who's out. Oh, Cameron Bryce is on the floor. So if it's me, I'm working that switch to where I'm one-on-one in the low post against a guard like Bryce or Lotto or even Mario McKinney. And when I'm looking at this, there's basically 4 guards on the floor and a small forward in Jamison Epps. So I'm looking at what does MACU have on the floor. MACU doesn't have, what was the call here now? Oh, shot clock did not start. Yeah, it was 30 seconds. They were almost to half court, and it was only on 29.
All right, here we go. Back to live action. Gaines to throw it in with 36 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Langston has a small lineup in the game right now. So if I'm MACU, I'm definitely going back to Mason in the low post.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we set to play now? All right, I'm still not understanding what the situation is. All right, we're set to go now. 36.8 seconds to go. All right, White into the front court. Right wing.
He's going all the way.
And drives to the basket and scores.
Man, he just went there
turned the Langston defense into Swiss cheese. Amaro Lotto's going to be undercut by White. 29.0 seconds to go. Lotto gets off the floor gingerly. So it's his 3rd personal, team foul number 9. So now going to the free throw line goes Amaro Lotto. Lotto on the night, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. He's got 18 points in the game. Does he have ice water in his veins, Gary?
Well, that last time Lotto was up at the free throw line, he went 1 for 2. He needs to make both of those tonight. This game is too tight, 29.09 seconds. An opportunity for the Lions to go up by 4.
All right, Lotto. Knocks it down. Lead up to 3, 69-66. One more free throw coming from Lotto, who's got 19. He's looking for the 20-piece on this one, Gary.
Yeah, he needs this second free throw for the sake of the Lions, because a three-point lead is not enough. He hits the second one. Okay.
2 for 2 as Lotto hits the 20-piece now. And another slip on the floor. Pull up Jay is no good, and multiple players on the floor.
Well, they call the foul on Mason.
And the players are starting to complain about the condition of the floor.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of moisture on the floor.
It is. Once you start getting that sweat and whatever else is out there on top of that wax, it just. How many games were played on this floor today?
This is the third game.
The third game. Yeah.
And now a little conversation right here at the scorer's table. The Lion faithful's getting up, and it looks like
Mason
there's an objection, or he just fouled out of the game.
Yeah, he fouled out.
Hate that for Keyshawn Mason.
Yeah. He played a good game.
So looks like there's a timeout called on the floor, but Mason not too happy. And to me, he was upset when the foul was called initially.
I mean, bodies were just flying
they were.
everywhere.
I mean, let's just be honest, Gary.
I mean, there was so much going on down there. I saw Epps go down, but then I saw two other players go down from MACU. I didn't see everything that happened. It was just too much going on.
Right. That's why you wish you had instant replay.
Right.
To look at what it is. And they're at the scorer's table right now.
They're looking at it right now.
They're looking at it right now. So the officials are looking. So now they're going to make a decision on what they saw. So meeting of the minds right there at half court.
So is it going to be a situation where it's a double foul? See what, here's the call.
So 2 free throws coming this way for Langston.
Yeah, they're letting the call stand.
So it looks like going to the free throw line might be, is it Jamison Epps?
Yeah, it was Epps.
So we're just waiting on the things to be sorted out here. .8 seconds to go. Now Jamison Epps steps to the free throw line now. Epps, steady dribble.
Misses the first one.
Back rims it 70-66. 17.8 seconds. So now, with the lead up to 4, it's still a 2-possession game. And it's a 2-possession game even if he hits this one.
Yeah.
So MACU will need a 3, but at some point. But right now you need to get the 2. Or the easier basket whenever time comes off.
Right.
So it's a 5-point game right now. So White,
he's on a
step dribble.
Yep,
pulls up, fires.
He draws
and he
a
gets
foul.
fouled shooting 3.
Yep, he does.
Against Bryce Monroe. Monroe is shocked. But nonetheless, White will go to the free throw line. He already has 13 in the game. And he gets to do it with the clock stopped.
That's right.
11 seconds left in the game clock. Shot clock is turned off. White takes his time, breathes. Shot is up, knocks it down.
Excellent free throw shooter.
Yes, he is. On the season, he's 85%. And he knocks down another one.
Into the game for the Lions, number 11, Joshua Smith.
Wow.
So Joshua Smith checks back in the game.
I would definitely be aware of the intentional miss here.
That's a great point. Shot is up.
He
knocks it down. So 71-69 is the score now.
So they fouled Lotto.
At the line to shoot 2 for the Lions, number 3, Amar Lotto.
So Lotto jogs down to the other end.
10.5 seconds remaining.
Lotto in the game already has 20 points. 15 in the second half. A timeout has been called on the floor.
What does his free throws look like?
Lotto tonight is 6 of 7.
Okay.
He's done his job.
They just haven't been pretty.
No, it's been pretty in the second half.
He's been making them, but they haven't been like nothing but net.
Well, the fact of the matter here is when you have 5 first-half points and then you turn around and have 15 in the second half, it really tells a story on how a player is really performing and how they get into the zone.
Yeah, no, he's been really resilient.
So 10.5 seconds to go. Lotto's going to be shooting free throws when we get back. Coming up, the Oklahoma Ford Dealers post-game show. Gary and I will break the numbers down for the winning team. All right. Second whistle has been blown. So Lotto to the free throw line. All right, Lotto goes to the free throw line now. Everybody's taking their time. 10:30 on your Monday night.
Yeah. It's what time?
10:30 on your Monday.
Oh, my goodness. Time flies.
Lotto fires. Shot is pure. 7 of 8. 72-69. 10.5 seconds to go. Lotto can maintain the 2-possession lead.
And
he misses the second one. Now they've got to hurry. 8 seconds on the clock. And Mario McKinney fouls him.
He fouls him.
So the question is.
And it was a 3-point shot.
So 2 shots coming.
2 or 3. He shot the ball from 3.
So they're asking to challenge.
Yeah, he shot the ball from 3. They call that 2. Wow. He shot it from behind the arc.
He did. So the question is, are you saying only reason that can only be a 2, Gary, is if they said the foul took place before the shot? That's the only way.
Okay, unless it was on the floor.
If it was on the floor, that's the only way. Other than that, he was shooting. I mean, everybody was seeing it. 5.2 seconds to go. 2 free throws coming for Juwan White.
I mean, he hadn't missed a one.
7 of 7, make that 8 of 8. 17 points.
Jeez Louise.
All right, here goes Juwan White with one more. Can pull them within 1.
Yeah, Langston's going to have to get this, inbound the ball, clean. He makes the second one.
Multiple bodies hit the floor. So, timeout's called by Langston now. 5.2 seconds. It's a 1-point margin. So when you're looking at a 1-point margin, everything's in play.
So full court press, MACU, man up. Don't let the ball inbound at all. That's what I see. Try to force the turnover, swat at everything that you see.
Everything.
You might get a hand on it.
Yeah, because if you can somehow get a passing lane and something going back to the basket.
Yep.
Now,
You can quick turnover, kiss off the glass, you could win one.
all right, so looking how this is played out. So you don't have a lot of time to really be selective about your shot. You got to get the best shot that you can get.
You talking about who?
MACU.
Well, MACU won't have the ball. Langston will.
Right, but they get the steal.
Yeah, if they get the steal, just put it up.
They got to put it up.
As soon as they get it.
But they got to put in some work here.
Yeah. Where's that ball being inbound from? Underneath the basket. Langston has to inbound this ball clean, which means that guys have got to be moving. Ball handlers on the floor. Epps is going to be throwing it in. Oh, okay. We've seen this one before.
3 players standing out
All
of bounds.
players are out of bounds. They're going to run in on the break.
Cleaning the moisture off the floor again. So describe this play a little bit, Gary. What you're saying here.
Yeah. So basically, they're going to break in at different angles.
So
They
trying
got
to
to
throw it in.
inbound the ball.
And
they fouled immediately.
4.8 seconds. Bryce Monroe going to the free throw line.
They had so many players going long for the long pass, in which it made MACU's defense have to trail them all the way up court. Then it created more room to inbound the ball closely. Immediate foul. You send Monroe to the free throw line with 4.8 left.
All
He
right.
hits the first one.
So he's tied his season high. He had 25 points against John Brown. Now he's got 25 points against MACU. With one more free throw, he would have raised his season high, Bryce Monroe had, to 26 points.
There
And
it
that
is.
was there. It's a 3-point game, 4.85 seconds to go. And he's going to be fouled in the backcourt.
They intentionally fouled him in the backcourt. They do not want a 3-point shot at all.
Got to be smart.
Now, White is going to hit both of these.
Yeah, he is. And still try to guard it out on the inbound play again.
Well, they're going to probably burn another 30-second timeout, and they're going to inbound the same play. Oh, he misses the first one. Wow. An uncharacteristic miss by White.
So Cameron McCoy's come in the game now. Back at the free throw line goes Smith.
Cameron McCoy, Smith, Mario McKinney, Lotto, Bryce Monroe. Oh, there it is, off the rim. Yep. Lane violation. You saw the intentional miss.
So the intentional miss, lane violation, so it's Langston's ball.
Yep. Same inbound scenario.
Up by 3. So now going to work. They got to get the ball inbounded in. Bounce pass in. And Cameron Bryce is fouled with barely a tenth of a second coming off the clock.
2.3. This is going to be the longest 2 seconds.
It's already been a long 5. Cameron Bryce going to the free throw line now. So the Lions trying to punch their ticket. And a match against Nelson.
Yeah. Here's the question. What kind of juice are you going to have, either of these teams, tomorrow?
The only thing is you're glad if you're in the men's game, it's at night.
Yeah, you can sleep.
So Cameron Bryce knocks down the first one. Cameron Bryce in the game itself right now has 18 points. And as time expires,
Oh, he
Boucher
almost makes that shot.
and the Lions emerge victorious 76-71 and punch their ticket to the men's basketball or the men's bracket championship game tomorrow of the postseason tournament against Nelson.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tremendous game overall. 76-71, and a great job again. So let's talk about the game we saw here today, Gary.
Yeah.
You're talking about a game overall that showed the Lions ended up doing just enough of what they needed to do to win the game, as the Langston is
student section
doing it. But the Lions, MACU ended up shooting 21 of 44, 47%, 5 of 15 of 3, 33%, 24 of 32, 32 attempts at the free throw line, 75%.
Wow.
So they out. So Coach Chris Wright just won his 300th game tonight.
Oh, wow. 300 games. College career.
So tremendous game for him.
Yeah, big time.
Winning his 300th game that punches his team's ticket into that game. But let's talk about MACU.
Yeah.
What kind of game overall did they play?
Oh,
today?
man, they played excellent. They played excellent. I mean, if you wanted to say, hey, I want it to be efficient, I want it to, get to the free throw line, I want it to get points off of turnovers and things of that nature, MACU did that in a very efficient way. I think one of the things that they did not count on was Langston shooting as well as they did from three-point.
Yeah, I mean
that was the difference, I think, in the game. I don't know about you. I mean, now I think down towards the end of the game, the free throw shooting became a factor as people got into the bonus. But as far as in terms of execution, I thought that MACU played well, extremely well.
They played well. So as the team makes its way over to the board to ink itself into the championship game tomorrow night, to your point, the Lions shot 11 of 30, 36% in the game.
Yep.
So I want to go a little deeper than that.
Sure.
In the second half, 6 of 15, 40%.
Yeah.
So shooting the three ball enough. Now,
they got better.
They got better.
They were 33% in the first half. Second half, they were 40%.
The question is, as a Lion fan, you cannot be comfortable living and dying with a three-point shot.
I'll be the first one to tell you, their three-point attempts were ridiculously high. Ridiculously high. What was the total number of three-point shots for the game?
Three-point shots overall in the game itself, you're talking about a total of 30 of them.
Golly. Oh, wow. That's a very high number. I think it was offset, though, by the fact that they made them, number one, or made a significant number of them. And then number two, they kind of made up for some points from the free throw line.
Langston improved on that. One of the other things, they got to the free throw line 17 times in the second half of the game, Gary.
Yep, they did.
76% overall.
There it is, there.
But they ended up shooting 81% from the free throw line overall in the game. So a tremendous outcome overall. If you're MACU, you can't hang your head low. You're talking about 4 players in double-digit scoring. And who knows what happens if Keyshawn Mason does not end up leaving the game.
Right.
And that's going to be something that everybody's going to talk about a long time after this. But Amaro Lotto, 21 points, 16 in the second half of that game. Bryce Monroe had 13 points in the first half. He doubled it in the second with 26, with a season-high 26 points. But then you had Cameron Bryce pouring in 18 points overall. It was very, very impressive.
Yeah, no, the point distribution did improve significantly. We only had Langston only had one player that was in double digits in the first half, and then all of a sudden they finished with 3 in the second half or for the game. But looking at the number of free throws, 17 attempts in the second half by MACU, 17 attempts by Langston. So again, they begin, and then the efficiencies improve. Langston field goal percentage was 40.7 for the game. Their three-point shooting was 36.7%. MACUs for the game, 33%, 47.7% for as far as field goal percentages. So it leveled out only because, in my opinion, Langston got to the free throw line a lot more in the second half, and they were able to maintain a decent amount of three-point shooting, even though the total number was ridiculously high, in my opinion.
So the brackets have been set, and home hosting Langston will be in both championship games tomorrow. The women will play against Mid-America at 5:30 tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, it will be Nelson College taking on Langston for the Sooner Athletic Conference men's and women's championship game. And big games tomorrow night. If it's any indication of the intensity we're going to see of tomorrow, be ready to be excited about the games that we're going to play.
Both of those games are going to be barn burners.
All right, he's Gary Woods. I'm Maurice Prince. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight's broadcast. Overall, it's been a great day of basketball here at Langston University. Get ready for one more day of the Sooner Athletic Conference postseason tournament championship night for the women and the men. Tomorrow night starting at 5:30 once again for the women, and again 8 o'clock tomorrow night for the men. He's Gary Woods. I'm Maurice Prince. Hey, tonight's game being brought to you by Oklahoma Ford Dealers and Tinker Federal Credit Union. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
At TFCU, we get it. You want the money part to be easy. From everyday spending alerts to mobile controls, like turning on and off a lost debit card, to earning more with high-yield checking. We help you spend your money and your time on what matters most to you. Get checking for all. Checking that fits you. From the credit union you trust, when it's you and TFCU.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.